Welcome to Ed Harvest's Garden on BFF.FM.
All right, everybody. That song is called Open Wide Doors and is by the Happies, which are right here in the studio with me today. How y'all doing?
Good, man. Thanks for having us, Ed.
We got both Eli and Nick. That's very cool. You guys brought a guitar.
And we got a little,
Whoa.
what are those called exactly?
Cajon.
This is a cajon.
So sometimes you need some cojones, you know?
Saw the right guy.
All right.
All right, should we rip a song? I think we should rip a song. Which one you were trying to, should we hit up?
Start with the first album.
Yeah, let's do Trippin'. All right, this song's called Trippin'. I'm going to move my mic a little bit. There we go. That's better. 1, 2, 3, 4. Trippin', girl, you got me wishing that I never came around again. I got my girl into submission, it was just like we were wishing, and we'll never call back again. But why you always leaving? Somehow I get the feeling, a voice like a pistol to my head. But trippin', girl, you got me wishing that I never came around again. I know sometimes I look square in the eyes and appear to lie. When I get back and I feel like kind of low from the town, little town that they call the box. When I kick it back, I kick it back when it all comes back on you. Look, I find out that girl don't even lack. Says Nick, I no longer like you too. Trippin', girl, you got me wishing that I never came around again. I got my girl into submission, it was just like we were wishing, and we'll never call back again. But why you always leaving? Somehow I get the feeling, a voice like a pistol to my head. But trippin', I keep on tripping. This medication's my best friend. Trippin', girl, you got me wishing that I never came around again. I got my girl into submission, it was just like we were wishing, and we'll never call back again. But why you always leaving? Somehow I get the feeling, a voice like a pistol to my head. But trippin', girl, you got me wishing that I never came around again.
That was really good.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, it
Thanks,
sounds
Ed.
awesome. Cool.
Sorry.
Yeah. If anything, I'd turn it a little bit down, but I didn't even know where the mic was.
It's just a little kind of like outside.
Oh, I
of
see
the-
what you're
But it was nice, man. It was nice.
Oh, look at Bunny. That's hilarious.
Oh, Bunny's the dog we got here in the studio. All right.
That's sticking out. It's pretty funny.
And I assumed the song was called Trip. Nah.
Trippin', yeah.
Trippin'. All
Kind of
right.
like, it was kind of like a breakup song, or when you're going through, like, you know, like some shit with the girl, she got you kind of tripping out. You're like, ah, shit, you know, kind of like that type of thing. Or the relationship is kind of headed towards an end situation, you know?
Yeah.
God, I like the mixer in here, man. I just gotta say that quick. The little board, it's very sick, very DIY little cool setup in here.
And they got the tape deck here.
Oh,
and
lit.
they got a vinyl player here too.
Yeah, it's fire in here.
Yeah, man. But it's my it's fun.
Dude, Ed, where did you grow up, brother? Like, as far as, like, you know, you strike me as someone who's well traveled. You were from the East Coast originally, right?
Puerto Rico.
Oh, sick.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. I
Nice.
grew up there, and then I went to school in Boston, and now I'm here.
Massachusetts.
I was wondering.
right on.
Oh,
Yeah.
sick, man. Yeah, my sister was in Somerset at or Somerset. Anyways, it's like the little. She went to nursing school around there, but yeah, I like Boston a lot. It's a cool area.
Nice. I was just talking to, I told you, to Frank, to Hobo Johnson.
Yeah.
And he the first thing he mentioned was the way that you guys tour
Yeah.
is very different. Like
What
it's
is he
Whoa, really?
like you'll
I like
see
that.
the Happies somewhere in Vancouver, not Vancouver,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
somewhere
yeah, yeah.
specific, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like guerrilla, right?
Oh,
like,
guerrilla marketing.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
your car in the bag has listen to the Happies on Spotify, right?
Yeah, we have like on the road or whatever. I'll grab a bunch of signs and stuff, and the homies will help. They see some signs when they're out and about, grab it, and I just to kind of because we're like so independent that we just take like that's one thing I'm glad about living in like the U.S. right is like if you put some propaganda for your band up in some country like they might really piss them off, but you can do that around here, and that's one cool thing. I can put my shit up in a town and they might tear it down or something, or throw it away, but you get what I'm saying. I can get my hustle on, I guess. So I like that. But yeah, no, Drew, the drummer too, is being like, dude, I see your shit everywhere. Every state we stop, your shit is everywhere. So it's cool they're up and it gets our shit up. And yeah, because we have like a booking agent. We had a manager, and the booking agent is kind of like a de facto manager basically, but we're not, on like, are you on a major? I forget. Are you on a major label?
No, I'm independent.
Yeah, so we're independent too, and my whole thing, like, I trip on when I think of Frank. I'm like, I wonder how like their camp does shit.
Well,
like it's
Frank's not on the label anymore.
oh Reprise.
Yeah.
It was yeah.
But
But-
he used to be with Warner. Or I can't remember what it was.
Reprise, I think, is the branch that like that whole camp is so confusing too. You know what I mean? I always just kind of wonder. But in the Bay Area, it's a lot more kind of hands-on DIY type shit. Like you had like Andre Nicotino, those types of people too, getting pretty big followings. DIY, I don't know. Like it's something in the water kind of about DIY. But in Georgia, we saw a sign. Remember in Georgia, we were staying in Augusta, which is where James Brown is from. Shout out James Brown. Love James Brown. And when we pulled out of the thing, I saw a real sign for music with a scan code. I'm like, that's the only time I've actually seen somebody do the style of marketing I was doing and the band was doing. Like, it's kind of rare.
Loaded diaper.
Do they do that?
I remember.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid
Yeah.
band.
You just
I
put the
remember
name
that.
on the band on the van.
It's close to that, but it's not quite as graphic, I'd say.
I guess. Yeah.
No, dude, there's been some like sometimes we'd be sitting there and the band like at my family's house, we'd go in the backyard with like 50 signs, and we'd be like, all right, let's do some weird, like some stupid ones, like, and one was like ride her face, listen to the Happies, and I'm just like pick them at random, I have a pile, and I'm in Berkeley on the side of the freeway, and I'm like fuck, it's the fucking sit on her face one, and I'm like, all right, let me just hang this shit up hella quick, and this car of like young kids is just staring, and I'm just like, dude, what? I should have gone to college. Like, what the fuck am I doing in my life? That was one of the moments with like a sign that was like a fucking weird one,
And how did y'all meet?
Eli's from Napa, and you were playing. He was playing in a band in You can yeah. How about you?
Yeah, so I was playing in a band before I joined the Happies, which was
There's a
called,
chair there, no?
Yeah, they could just why not? We'll swap it up a little bit. But yeah, back to what I was saying. I joined a band when I was in 2020. Started recording with them, and on my third time recording with them, I linked up with a former coworker of mine, which would happen to be the bass player of the Happies, and
Yeah.
he liked the way, I guess, he overheard us recording one day and was like, "Hang on, we're kind of looking for a drummer. Do you want to audition?" And I swooped up that opportunity as
He's been an
possible.
exceptional young chap, and the dude is just great. And I think a big part of a band that people don't talk about is like if you're touring and all that stuff, like you got to have a little bit of nomad vibe where you're like kind of like you can crash out in a car on the beach and like know how to work that, and like because you're gonna be on the road and you're gonna try to hit as many states and opportunities as you can, and you might not have good lodging for a couple days until the fucking shows add up to an Airbnb.
Yeah.
After a couple shows in a row, whatever it may be, whatever deal you might have. And yeah, so he was also just, I think, like skilled at like, you know, like a traveler. Like you can travel around and stuff pretty good, which is hard to find that and a good musician simultaneously. It's kind of like a diamond in the rough
Yeah.
type shit to find.
Some context for the listeners. I live in a van.
Wow.
So I've been doing that for 2 years, and by the time I got my audition, I was already a year and a half into that.
yeah.
Brett converted a
And-
Sprinter van. Eric Andre saw it and thought
Really?
it was dope.
At the
I
Oakland
saw
show?
you saw Eric Andre or liked the thing today. He
Yeah,
posted some funny shit. I forget.
With the guy on stage, he put the thing on the face
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah, yeah.
This guy, this is pretty bad. Like, I don't know.
He went to Berkeley College of Music too.
He did.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
for bass.
For-
yeah.
Yeah.
No, this guy, it's always so hard to tell what's scripted and fake with him, too. You notice that with Eric Andre? It's like a conundrum, but he was the best comedian I've seen in a small club ever, I would say.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it was, but I relate to his weird sense of humor.
Of course.
Like, you know what I mean? A lot of people, like,
It's chaos.
my family are like, what the fuck is this? Like, this shit is stupid, or
Yeah.
whatever, you know? But I'm
It's
like,
something you show on a first Tinder date just to check the vibe.
yeah.
You know?
Amen, dude.
As the water's
Amen.
out.
But yeah, no, Eric Andre thought the van was cool, and he had this guy DJ Doug Pound. I don't know. He's hangs with Eric and tours them a lot, and he was thinking of staying in converted cars and shit. That was a big movement for a while, and it's good as you get older, it starts fucking getting a little rough, you know. But
Mhm. You're back.
I did it for a while. I did it around the U.S. That was one of the coolest things I'll give myself credit for. Is it was like 2017, and I had a breakup. Some people left the band to pursue their own like kind of solo career, and I got fired from a job. And I'm like, fuck, bro. Like all the cards are falling around me. I'm like, I need to go around the U.S. and play open mics. Like I need to brand the Happies everywhere, you know. And I didn't even look online. I was so like manic and weird that I drove around and I had the Happies, like a banner on the side of my car, and drove all the way through Memphis and Sun Records, all those spots, just asking people where the dope spot was to play. And it was fucking winter time, dude. It was dangerous out there.
Yeah.
Like it was sketch. I'm very lucky weather-wise. I didn't run into some problems. I got caught in one blizzard on the way to Nashville, and I was able to like turn around, but it was, you know, just like shit, like bad weather was the biggest concern.
Yeah.
Lack of knowledge of what I'm fucking even trying to do, and you know. But New Orleans was cool. That like
I would live there.
Yeah. I went over to New Orleans, and I was like, this is like not even like the U.S. This is some whole other shit. This is
Yeah.
like its own fucking planet, and I'm so cool. And my dad just had a New Orleans French Quarter sweatshirt, and I saw a thing that just said French Quarter. I'm like, oh, I should go check that out. And it happened to be like my favorite. That's like my favorite spot in all the U.S. You know, just like from a fucking sweatshirt my dad had, you know. He never even went there. Like a friend, he was a fireman in the city, and his friend like went on vacation, gave him a French Quarter sweatshirt.
Wow. And when you guys write music, is there one songwriter? Do you guys work together?
I primarily write it. I think, like, to be honest, like that was a hard thing I learned is a lot of bands, like they start off and it's a hodgepodge,
Mm-hmm.
you know, or it just doesn't function good like that. Because, you know, band wants to have fun. They want to smoke, they want to drink, they want to do their thing. And then you need kind of one person just making sure everything is, you know, going good. And so I was like kind of like ignoring that for how years, and it turned to all these problems, and I had to like kind of just like own up that it was a project where I want to put out songs I wrote, you know, and not a project like it's a fucking band, but it's like, you know, it's like a thing like Tame Impala, I suppose, but I don't see it always being like that. Like I do see it like in a little bit more what's it called, like, you know, like people chiming in more. Like people will do stuff like if people want to do a music video or whatever, or like a fucking do some art, do some this, that, or the other like shit involving in it. I'm not really tripping, but I just more like it's a personal journal, and you know, like I was a junkie when I was younger, and the shit kind of saves my life writing music, and for some reason, the importance of putting it out so that other people along the way, specifically, I guess people who have been through some weird shit in life or going through weird times, that part is important to me, I guess. That just like is a big revelation I had where I'm like, I didn't want to just put it out, like not have anyone hear it.
How come you're mad at your doctor?
Oh, dude, that's a
Do you
good one.
want to tell him? Or
You
do
can
want-
tell him, yeah, if you remember the whole, yeah, you
I
remember the
don't,
gist.
I don't remember, like, well, I got my reasons why I'm mad at my doctor,
Yeah,
but it might
yeah.
not be the same for what the song means.
I bet it's not, but I'll just say what it's about, and then Eli can chime in out. Like, Eli's got some better reasons, in my opinion, to be annoyed with his doctor. I would say annoyed is a good word. I was mad because I just had anxiety and shit growing up. I was on ADD meds young, and when you're thrown on that young, your like chemistry in your brain is kind of like you might need meds for hella
Ever.
longer than yeah. So like, you know, I was like, fuck, they're giving me shit for anxiety, and it was this shit called gabapentin, and I was I was like, bro, I need some shit like I need a small benzodiazepine, which is like Klonopin or Xanax, like, and I mean not like a fraction of one, just a little bit for the periods in the month, and instead they were giving me like just like 9 pills a day that were like these horse pills, and I was kind of like, it's such a strange concept for a song, you know what I mean? Like that's such a weird like story, but that is the actual story of why it's called that. Anyways, he's got a good story. Eli actually has a really interesting background.
What I'm
Where
trying
to
to think
begin?
about which story you're thinking of. Is there a specific
I'm gonna say
one?
the story in my head is that because he grew up in a really religious family, you know,
Okay.
and
Christian or Catholic?
Yeah, non-denominational Christian. My grandfather is a pastor
Wow.
of I think like 40 plus years, probably more, and I grew up. My whole family was in the church. So we were
homeschooled too.
homeschooled on top of that. Gang. What's up? What's up, all my homies out there?
You don't look like you're homeschooled. Yeah.
I know, no, I mean to be honest, yeah.
Thank you. That's a great compliment.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
I feel like
Working
I'm
hard on
homeschooled
that.
sometimes. dude.
So all of my stories kind of revolve around, I guess, like kind of the first jump out of homeschooled religion, which was I was like 20 years old when I kind of just like checked out of that, joined a band, got some fun jobs, and
What are the fun jobs?
I got a job at a coffee shop called Dutch Bros. If anyone
I've
knows,
heard of
Dutch
that,
They're
yeah.
pretty good, bro. And there's a lot of fine senoritas over there.
You gotta learn Spanish.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you know.
No, but there's some babes over there.
No points. Wow.
Dame más
Napas.
gasolina.
Dude, but then currently I work at a dispensary right now.
Okay.
So
Which one?
it's a place in Santa Rosa called Doobie Nights.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
Is it a chain or is it just one?
It's just one.
That's good.
It's on the Santa Rosa Avenue area, right in the middle of Santa Rosa. It's kind of like a nightclub.
They have
Wow.
great
Look it up,
art.
there's-
They have really good art. I have to hand it to them. Yeah, they have a lot of 3D.
projections.
It's kind of like here how they have like a lot of, their own thing going on.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So I guess that my doctor now. I'm not mad at my doctor anymore because my
Your
doctor
doctors
is,
used to be religious and they'd have weird advice. That's what I was
That's
getting.
right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I did have this one time where I told my
They're weird, bro.
my
Yeah.
current time psychiatrist. I was just telling her like, man, this is the nice drive or something like that, and like for some reason I like almost slipped off the side of the road, and I just told her this thought of like, man, if I like slipped off, like, what about my life? I'd be happy going. And
Oh,
she hears
God.
me like
Religious
say
people
that,
with
and she's
it.
all like, here's like 20 milligrams of, I don't even remember what she gave me or something like that. And I was just like,
I know.
"Yo,
He
chill,
wouldn't
this
give
is,
me any of it either, which is the worst part.
That was
It's like,
selfish.
I'm in a happy place right now.
I have a whole album about how he wouldn't give me his somas on the second tour we were on. Just kidding.
Oh my god, that second tour was
Yeah, it was just we had one tour where the elements started getting really fucked up. Like it wasn't. I think that was the biggest thing. I was doing signs and it was just like either hella bugs were outside in Georgia area, like big bugs, either as hot as fuck or as freezing, and I was just getting fucked up by the weather. I was losing my mind. Everybody started losing their mind, and just I don't even know, but and I didn't have my meds. I forgot that part. Remember, I didn't get my
Yeah.
meds until Washington D.C.
and for some reason I thought it was a smart idea to like try to go sober on this tour as well. I thought that was a genius idea.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
On the first tour?
No, it
Or
was the
third or
second,
some shit.
The most recent one, I kind of just
Long
was like,
length tour, long length, meaning like
Yeah.
more than like 3 weeks. I would say
Wow.
is little longer length. Yeah,
We were what was the 6-week one though?
yeah. We went to Florida and back, went all the way to Key West. Key West was really sick.
That's very
This was like also I don't know about you, but this was my first time experiencing like authentic humidity. in the summer.
Yeah, that shit sucks, bro. Did you ever go to Florida? Did I hear that? Yeah, so we play Florida a lot, like all different types of, or lower southern, or northern, southern Florida and all that. But, dude, what month was it? Was it August?
Yeah, kind of like
It was,
July,
dude, it was just
August.
hell, bro. We were in a Sprinter van.
Hot.
And oh my god, bro, just miserable. And for a few days at a time, and just like you'd fucking take a shower and like, you know what I mean, bro. 4 or 5 minutes later, you feel like you didn't shower for 3
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah.
That shit was like so challenging, brother.
Yeah. Some people are like, I hate the cold. I'm like, you haven't been in real heat.
Yeah.
Right?
No, dude, that shit was fucked up.
You can control cold by putting layers on. You can't control heat.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, I didn't think about it like
We
that.
got the little one thing I noticed with the Happies is like they shop smart. They got the little Amazon fans and shit they clip on, because we have kind of a bunk bed situation where the back of it is it's one tall bed, and then Eli's down here and I'm to the left, you know, in a bunk. And then the music shit separates the two people in the middle on the top, like drums or whatever, all the music equipment. But it's just, yeah. And then we thought, like, I guess in wintertime we have the better bunk, but in summertime it packs the heat in on the lower part, or it just feels like that, at least. I don't know. You'd think heat would rise, but it feels like. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. That tour was just pretty crazy, and we went on a tour with Eric Wilson of Sublime.
Yeah.
And a crazy thing is we used to tour with Bradley Knoll's son, Jacob Knoll, and now Jacob's the singer of Sublime out of nowhere,
Wow.
which is pretty wild. And Sublime with Rome stepped down. And we were kind of on the last real kind of heavy tour Sublime with Rome did. Like, we're playing with them again in February. We'll keep it cutty. I guess we're not supposed to talk about that.
Oh, yeah,
show.
I'm not sure.
We're not supposed to talk about that. And it's our best show of the year.
Yeah.
We do this one out in the desert. It's kind of like a redneck Coachella thingy where they ride
In California?
bikes up.
Indio?
Yeah, Johnson Valley.
Yeah.
What is it called? What is that shit?
It's in Indio, though, right?
Yeah, King of the Hammers is called. It's a dope festival where they have the fucking ATVs and they climb up the rocks and shit, but they told us not to say. But this is a pretty cutty radio thing. By the time it gets around anyways, it'll be like a healthy time of promo. That's the way I see it. With
True.
my familiarity with this radio, it's a good little pocket of like a good niche, you know.
Of course. You see a place. It's very nice.
But it's it's so much cooler in here than I had anticipated. I thought it would be like you open the key to the gate in a house and just boom, you know, there's like maybe some apartments people live in this.
Yeah.
I didn't think the
experience here.
whole, you know, like there's a whole little get down in here.
Yeah.
They definitely have shows here, huh? Like kind of like
Yeah.
little mini indoor festies, thingamajigs. It's pretty cool.
Yep. They even did a puppet show, I think, sometime.
A puppet show?
Oh, really?
A puppet show, you say?
Yes,
I like the
do.
sound of
I loved your music video too, by the way, man. Which is why I actually thought you were on a major label, because when Frank had rolled up at the show and you guys came together, one, you just have a look of kind of an artist who's I don't know why.
Yeah, well,
It's a
you
good
gotta
thing.
look it. You gotta look it.
Yeah, you strike. I don't know. Your demeanor is that of like, you know, somebody doing their thing. And when you walked in with Frank, and I know Frank is off of that now. So did you guys meet through community college or something like that, or how?
No, actually, shout out to the Starry Plow in Oakland.
No way.
We met there. Yeah.
I love that venue, bro.
And he had let me open for him last year.
Sick.
But yeah.
That spot, bro, is such a good pocket too, because you get all like the young kind of like Berkeley college kids and
Yeah.
shit at that spot. So it's a really good spot. And we played with Jacob Knoll there too. That was the 1st time we ever played with the Sublime Singer's biological son or whatever.
Wow.
But that spot just has a good open mic too.
When did you tour with Frank?
We didn't tour with him. We played a bunch of it's kind of a interesting connection. Like he was in circles, like doing the little, you know, yards around. I'm trying to think. Like he would do, from what I had known, before he kind of like had his little climb with Live from Oak Parks and all that shit. He was I think we met through, mainly got connected through his friend Austin,
Okay.
who was staying with them, documenting them, like filming them. And then he would play, like I told you, that 16th and Mission street down. They had an open mic. And so I kind of heard of this kid kind of blowing up through like those circles or whatever, and went down his wormhole. And I'm like, oh, sick. He went, and did these little circles where you walk in and you basically recite poetry or play music and shit, which is pretty sick. Like that like puts, it's kind of like some Eminem shit where your balls are on the table. You have to like present yourself or do your best work because you're surrounded by a circle of people, which is pretty weird. But he played at Bottom of the Hill, and then my friend Austin and I he was like, oh, this is Frank, blah 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 blah. And then I started doing a couple videos with Jordan from the band. He filmed us over in Sacramento, and I kind of got to thank Frank because I started going over to Sacramento a little more. I had friends, but I like Sacramento because it's fused of like every type of person, every type of race, every type of ideology. It's a freak show of culture. You know what I mean? Like Sacramento has got a really interesting culture, and
It's big too.
yeah. So I just kind of like was enticed, and he kind of smells like Teen Spirited, the whole thing with like hip hop was king, and hip hop where it was like, hip hop like kind of watered down hip hop from a rock perspective, where it was kind of like, I don't know, man, help me out. Like the Cardi B type shit was really king, and then out of nowhere, this kid comes out doing kind of beat poetry to music.
Yeah.
And so in the North Bay, when I went to that show, it felt like I was seeing, to me, what is art is like really captivating people in the moment, a newer type of thing reflipped and hashed out. It was like super exciting. So I just gravitated towards being like, dude, like, what is this shit? This shit is cool, and like, where'd you get started, and that type of thing. I kind of admire, like, he's put up with a lot of scrutiny too, which is like hard when you're in the public eye. Like I get people mad at the signs and all that, but I don't know, it's not like the signs are my music, they're just a thing that say where to find the music.
Yeah, of course.
Anyway, so I don't know, sorry about that long-ended
No,
answer.
dude, you're here to talk, man.
It's a long ass ended.
Well, before I end the interview, I see that you guys have new tour dates for the 20th in the Bay Area
Yeah.
and the 24th in Santa Rosa.
Eli, tell him about him. I've been fucking caffeinated as fuck.
It's fine, dude.
We got this really cool show coming up this Saturday in Novato with Lena Claypool.
Les
Okay.
Claypool's
She's-
daughter, yeah.
She's
Wow.
a legend, and she owns this dope, I think, what would you call it, a boutique or her own
Yeah,
thrift
yeah.
store?
It's a thrift store, but it's got a lot of cool shit. It's in Petaluma. If you're ever there,
Yeah.
she works there. She's extremely nice. She's been like a sister to us, kicking ass, and her dad helped us on promo on the first one, which is really nice of her to have asked like Les Claypool, hey dad, can you like promote this local thing? But it helped get heads out. And anyways, I'm gonna stop talking.
No, you're good. The only thing I was gonna say is the next show on the 24th is gonna be at my hometown in Napa at the
It's
Blue
from
Note.
Napa, yeah.
So that's gonna be
Jazz Cat shit.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
gonna be really, really.
Not
fun.
us, but that is a Jazz Cat legendary
Yeah, yeah.
spot
It
for
is,
good jazz.
yeah.
Yeah,
We've had like, what was that? Every time Bottle Rock happens,
it's
Blue
literally
Note's kinda
blue,
that.
like just like jazz to the blue period.
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
Oh yeah, no, it's a dope spot. There's
It's
locations in
sick.
Tokyo, Japan, or
New York.
New York has a location too. So I mean,
Hey.
Awesome.
good credit to have, I guess.
LA doesn't have one actually, huh? That's one thing we could probably say that I don't think, like, LA's taken everything, any idea someone's had, and pilfered it and remade it.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't do it with that. Shout out LA though too. I do like LA a lot. Anyways,
Awesome.
sorry. Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to say to the listeners?
The Happy's on Spotify and YouTube, HAPPYS, and go check out your boy Ed Harvest.
No, man. Thank
check
you
out
so
his
much.
single. It's fucking dope.
It is.
And thank you.
We love you very much with all our hearts.
And thank you for the grace on the signs. Bay Area.
100%. Thank you so much for being here, guys.
Thank you,
Thank
Ed.
you for having us.
All right.
And that was the last day the Happies were ever allowed anywhere ever again.
Oh,
How did my little dog do?
I didn't even know he was there.